Yeah, so we submitted a proposal, a consortium of us, to cover the integrated management systems area. All the disclaimers apply to this. This hasn't been widely circulated between the team. It's just taken straight from the proposal that we submitted. But the project team, it was kind of getting together some of the, or most of the farm systems type or the systems analysis type people that we've had in the area of mitigation technologies. So people from the University of Melbourne, Tasmanian Institute, DPI New South Wales, DAF Queensland, CSIRO, QUT, and Integrity Ag and Environment. All of us have worked together in some form or another in previous studies. And the aim is quite straightforward. It's really to work with the NLMP II team, with the CN30 Pathways Project, to pull in international research with the aim of identifying new and emerging mitigation option and sequestration options that are drawn from all of this CN30 relevant research, so livestock production system research. And it doesn't matter where that comes from, largely hoping it's coming from NLMP and CN30 pathways. But then to evaluate these in a farming systems context and in a supply chain context, to look at what the actual outcome would be when you take component research and you put it into a farm systems context. Part of their job is to work with the department on identifying new carbon offset methodology options that could emerge from this research, and where that research can improve inventory improvements. So developing the underpinning science and logic required for that. We will work on refining and further defining what we mean by carbon neutral 2030 and how that is accounted and what appropriate tools are to do that. And also identify appropriate pathways to take these component research modules through to some form of adoption and leadership training in carbon neutrality, and also identifying research gaps and feeding those back in. The outcomes we're aiming for is a red meat industry that understands the potential of these emerging options and how they can collectively work towards achieving carbon neutrality. A farm advisory sector that has confidence to take these component technologies and build them into their existing extension adoption processes. Red meat producers with more confidence, based on whole farm systems analysis, to adopt these mitigation technologies, and confidence to adopt offset methods themselves. So case studies of how offset methods will actually could actually apply on farm. And policymakers having access to the science, the collective science, and the accounting logic to further develop offset methodologies and inventory improvements. Every project has what we call a horrendogram. Here is the horrendogram. Please don't judge me for this. This is still a process in the making, but we see a process of having potential stakeholders from policy, clean energy regulator, DESA, the inventory team, the industry themselves, potentially agribusiness and aggregators, but also the research teams from CN30 Pathways and NLMP, feeding into what we called a synthesis task group, which is really a group that says, what are the priorities and what priorities can we give to this IMS project team that they need to go and develop up so that we can get a new offset method, that we can get an inventory improvement, and the products that we talk about at the bottom of the screen as outcomes. So the approach is obviously, our focus is connecting component research to an outcome. That's really what we're on about. As mentioned, we have this synthesis task group made up of a number of potential stakeholders that have an interest in this, and there's the list of taking priority research and where this needs further analysis towards offset methods, new inventory calculations, whole of system or consequential life cycle analysis to demonstrate the whole of system outcome. And someone please answer the phone. And synthesis of the science for inventory improvements, because that would need peer-reviewed publication to justify inventory, and packaging key messages for adoption out to industry. So really the synthesis task group is a collection of stakeholders that prioritize what needs to be done by the IMS project team as a series of connected projects. That's about it, Margaret. I'll leave it there.